Welcome back to Cityline. Well, with me is an organization that is new to Cityline, and I cannot wait to introduce them to you. We're talking about Nine9Line Veteran Services, and I cannot wait to find out what you do for our beloved veterans. Sean Dernan, you are the president of Nine9Line Veteran Services. Welcome to Cityline, my dear.
Thank you, ma'am. It is an absolute pleasure to be here today. I appreciate it so much.
So first off, tell us, what is Nine9Line Veteran Services?
So Nine9Line Veteran Services, in its truest sense, comes from the term 9-line medevac, which in the military is the emergency medical evacuation used to preserve life and get emergency services. So an obvious reasoning why we're calling it 9-line is that's what we're doing. You know, we're providing resources, we're providing housing, support services, resources. The list goes on. But that's who we are, and that's why we came to be.
Wow. Okay, that is incredible, and I love the story behind it. So, based upon those emergency services, let's get into pandemic time right now. So, what is Nine9Line doing to combat veteran homelessness during this pandemic?
Well, just like any other nonprofit right now in the community or across the country, you know, we're facing hard times, right? Just due to lack of financials, supports, and then really finding out how we can still be there for the community while operating at a reasonable means, right? So 991 is an essential employer. So we do employ homeless veterans, recently homeless, recently incarcerated, at our shop, where we maintain contracts with Boeing, with different organizations doing warehousing, resurfacing, repurposing, tooling, things like that. And then to augment that, we actually have housing that we provide for our veterans for little to no cost while we employ them as well. And then host different aspects of, you know, alternative therapies like hiking, support services, coordinated entry, working with the county, working with other organizations. I mean, it's just a blessing, truly.
Wow, that is impressive. So, Sean, when we think about local businesses, because nobody can do it alone here, what do they do to support your new employment and housing program?
So in such case with Boeing, you know, we have a contract with them where we actually refurbish and fix and clean their masks, you know, with COVID, and then just regular day-to-day for them. These are masks that they use to work on the planes, that they use to make sure that they're keeping their employees safe. Full face respirators, half face respirators. So they send us these and we do a turnaround and send them back. And through that contract, again, we're able to employ and house these veterans. So it's that symbiotic relationship where, you know, we're working with local companies because you want to keep it local regardless. And then we're focusing and supporting homeless veterans. So it's repurposing and giving them empowerment to have a hard day's work. You know, we're not your run-of-the-mill nonprofit. We're actually empowering people to want to work, to have a hard day's under their belt, and then have somewhere warm to go home to at night.
Absolutely. So it doesn't, when you say local, and I love how you said that, it doesn't get any more local than the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
My goodness. I mean, go big or go home, Sean. So spill it. Let's talk about this recent partnership.
So the Seattle Seahawks reached out to 12 organizations across the state of Washington to develop what's now referred to as Task Force 12. So we use coordinated efforts, referrals, services, housing. I mean, the list goes on, right? So we coordinate through the Seahawks. They support us with different funding opportunities, different marketing opportunities, really just being there for us so we can coordinate the efforts and reach veterans in rural areas that may not have those resources available. So they reached out to us probably about 3 months ago and signed us with a formal partnership with 12 other organizations. And it's been a blessing ever since.
Wow, that is incredible. So moving forward, because you have some great momentum, what issues are you thinking about for Nine9Line?
Well, the biggest issues we're facing right now, again, with COVID-19, it's been slowdown in operations. So one of the things we're looking at is reaching out to other local organizations, other companies where we can build contracts, build relationships, offer to, again, contract with them so we can provide more employment for homeless veterans, so we can provide more housing for our homeless veterans. To be able to reach those companies has been one of the biggest issues because, again, a lot of people don't know who's operating, how they're operating, what's going on. There's no systematic norm right now. Everything is unprecedented, so nothing is, as it was or as it should be, for that matter. So it's just a guessing game at this point, I guess, is where we're at.
So based upon that, so what efforts are being made to coordinate care with other providers facing those same issues?
So we have been very blessed in the sense that Howard Schultz actually funds what's called Unite Us. It's a coordinated entry system to where we can actually reach out to other providers and express where we're lacking and where maybe they can pick up some of the weight, and vice versa. And really in this time where, again, a lot of people are facing economic hardships, the economy has really just hit this wall. Although things happen today that I'm extremely excited about, but we won't go there right now. Yeah, but that said, that's what we're doing. We're just trying to coordinate with local companies and then, again, get the word out that whatever we can benefit from to help these veterans, that's something that we can also help these other organizations who may be helping children, families, dependents, things that we may not be able to cover. We can do that referral. So that's how we're continuing to build this network and hopefully employ to move forward and continue to grow.
Yes, yes, yes. So with everything that's happened this year, do you foresee that 9line will be able to host your most popular event, which is the Veterans Resource Fair at the Tacoma Dome?
That's the goal. The biggest problem we ran into last year, and we annually serve between 20 and 30,000 people, right? So the biggest problem we ran into last year, of course, right when we were about to do the event, the governor announced the closure of everything. And this year, it's really about how quick the vaccines are getting out, how quick we can vaccinate our, more vulnerable populations. And with an event like this, we can't have everyone just right under each other's neck normally as we would in one location, especially when we talk about that Vietnam era, that Korean War era. We don't want to endanger that population. So we want to make sure that we're taking everything into precaution before we say, yes, we're going to do this. The goal is to absolutely. What it looks like realistically, we'll have to see over the next month or so.
Right. Well, and you also, many of your clients have diminished health issues. So it's a wise thing to think about that as well. Sean, as this year's winner of the Association of Washington State Businesses Washington Excellence Award, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How does it feel to be recognized as a leading business among the hundreds of nominees across the state?
We weren't expecting it. Team 9line is an amazing group of individuals. They really go above and beyond. They put their heart and soul into everything they do. And to say that I have the privilege of standing on the shoulders of giants every day is, I'm really, really underselling that. So to actually get that nomination, one, and then two, to actually the night of hear our names being thrown out there, it brought tears to our eyes. To be recognized for our evidence-based practices, for our business practices, for all the hard work over the last 13 years has just been incredible. And for the state to really recognize that, it's just a dream come true.
I couldn't say it better. So what are you thinking in terms of the next 11 years? I mean, and 11 years of service to Washington State veterans, that's how much you have given back. So as we look forward, what's the mission? What's the vision?
We want to continue to grow. There's a constant need. When we talk about military veterans, we live in the South Sound. There's never a shortage of veterans. You can't throw a stone in this county without, hitting one, truly. So that said, we want to be able to continue to meet the people where they're at. We don't want to play the guessing game. We want to find out what the needs are, adapt to those needs, and continue to grow as an organization. Again, providing more resources, providing more housing, identifying the individual needs, whether it be education, housing, support services, whatever that may be, but meeting the people where they're at. We don't want to send 12, and we don't want to send one individual to 12 different locations if we can coordinate those efforts. educate, support, and continue to grow. And that's the goal, whether it be 11 years from now, 15 years from now. We started this as a labor of love, and that's what we want to continue to make it.
Absolutely. And if you know what, if past is a predictor of the future, my goodness, you have a very bright one. So, Sean, thank you to you and to your team. As I often say to people who make differences like you do every single day, with people that are just right outside our doors, this is a ministry. This is not something that you ever set down. It's something that wakes you up in the middle of the night, and there's no amount of money that can pay you for that. So thank you so much for what you do for our community and our veterans. And don't be a stranger. I want you back on this show in about 90 days, and don't make me come get you.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty. Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It is always a pleasure and a privilege to zoom into your home. We've had a lot of great things to think about in this past hour, so please wear your mask, keep yourself socially distant, keep yourself in small groups, and wash your hands. But please connect with your family and your friends and those you love, because we will get through this together. And when you come back, as always, I'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. From the fires to the loam. Tacoma, that's my home. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. The place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from the east end. Oh, you're from Green Bay. Oh, you're from Atlanta, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from the east end.